With all her wealth and fame, it almost seems like the ideal life for anyone. But what could have gone wrong, and why would anyone do something so horrifying?
Hong Kong model Abby
Choi, brutally murdered.
They also found
Body was dismembered.
This is a shocking case of Hong Kong socialite and model Abby Choi, and how a family financial dispute turned ugly and led to a premeditated crime that ended her life. On the 21st of February 2023, Abby went missing. It was 3 days after her disappearance that she was found dead. The manner of her discovered remains shocked the entire city, as this was not a normal death. This case is said to be the most tragic murder in Hong Kong since 2013. Abby Choi is a model, influencer, and fashion icon from Hong Kong. She was born in 1994 to a wealthy and loving family. Abby was a talented girl and started to pursue her passion for modeling. After graduating from school, she continued to work hard in the fashion industry. She was a rising star at the age of 28. Abby was constantly featured in fashion magazines like Vogue and L'Officiel Monaco. Attending events such as Paris Fashion Week was second nature to her. From interviews with her family and friends, she was a kind-hearted lady. Abby Choi lived a glamorous lifestyle and had a supportive family and friends. A mother of 4, she was married to a loving man named Chris Tam at the time of her death. In her previous marriage, she was married to Alex Kwong and had 2 kids. Despite their divorce, she still maintained a close relationship with her ex-husband's family and even supported them financially. It wasn't hard to tell that she was such a kind and caring person by her actions alone. Little did she expect that her kindness would be repaid with a horrendous atrocity by her ex-husband's family. It was a sunny afternoon. Abby's daughter had ended her classes and was waiting eagerly for her mom to fetch her home. Hours passed, and her mom was nowhere to be seen. Her family could not locate or contact her, and it almost seemed as if she had disappeared into thin air. Soon after, Abby Choi officially became reported as a missing person. CCTV footage showed Abby was last seen entering a car driven by her chauffeur, Anthony Kwong. He was also her former brother-in-law, and they had a friendly relationship. At times, Anthony will post photos with Abby, and they often refer to each other as siblings. The police tried to contact the Kwong family about Abby's disappearance, but they were uncooperative, giving statements that misled the police. February 24th, 2023. 3 days had passed since her disappearance, and it was a gloomy Friday. Everyone was tired, but they were still trying every way to search for the missing model. The police finally tracked down a village house in Hong Kong's Tai Po area using GPS records. This apartment was rented by Abby's former father-in-law. Needless to say, the police went straight to the residence area. Upon entering the apartment, the police officers were met with a grim scene. They found Abby's purple handbag, along with a meat grinder and electric saws, the perfect companions for an ominous omen. They also found raincoats, gloves, and face shields. One could only imagine what happened here. With the presence of items perfect for preventing blood from getting on clothes, they also found a sail, which was used to cover the apartment walls. The refrigerator strategically hid a grisly sight, and definitely not one for the faint of heart. It found that the suspicious soup pots were filled to its brim and contained a thick layer of fat, vegetables, and some kind of minced meat. These pots were taken to a mortuary near the village house for examination. Following DNA tests, their deepest fears have been confirmed. These remains indeed belong to the missing model.
There's a hole on the right side rear on the skull.
It is likely that she was struck on the head inside the car, ending her life. She was then sent to the village house in Tai Po. This becomes clear after the police found blood splatter inside Anthony's car. There was also CCTV footage of Anthony carrying a large white plastic box, which was believed to contain Abby's remains, and loading it into his 7-seater car. Together with the help of the police dogs and its abseiling team, the police have found some other missing parts in Hong Kong's Cheung Kwan O Chinese Permanent Cemetery.
We will do a thorough search again to find the torso and other parts of the missing body.
Besides using a drone from an aerial search, the police force also deployed their elite special duties unit, the Flying Tigers divers, to search in the water catchment area at Cheung Kwan O Chinese Permanent Cemetery. The authorities were quick to arrest Anthony Kwong and Abby's former father-in-law, Kwong Kao. Surprisingly, Kwong Kao was actually a former police officer himself. He even received a medal for his service back in 2001. However, he was forced to resign on sexual assault allegations against him. Kwang Kao seems to be the one who planned out the entire murder, having rented the village house where the dismemberment took place. Thankfully, his previous experience in law enforcement did not prevent justice from prevailing in this case. He visited Chengquan-o Chinese Permanent Cemetery the day after Abby was reported missing. Now, this paints a clear picture of why the police found some of Abby's remains there. Jenny Lee, the mother of the Kwang family, was also arrested. Unlike her husband and sons, she didn't seem to have a hand in the murder. However, she was complicit in the crime and attempted to cover up what her family had done, obstructing the course of justice. See, I understand that she wouldn't want anything bad to happen to her closest family members, but this whole case is just too absurd and cruel. They weren't able to arrest Alex Kwang along with the rest as he was attempting to flee Hong Kong. He was apprehended near Macau on a speedboat, the vehicle he was trying to escape in. As if this case wasn't already crazy enough, the police also found and apprehended 3 other suspects that were involved in this tragedy. The first, a woman in her mid-40s named Ng Chi Wing. She is a masseuse who was allegedly having an affair with Kwang Kao and helped him rent the village house that would go on to be the primary crime scene. Shortly before the murder, she also began renting a luxury apartment in West Kowloon's Sky Arch Tower. It's believed that Alex used this apartment to hide from the police during his time on the run. Second, a 41-year-old man named Henry Lum Shun. He is a friend of Alex and the owner of a yacht rental company. He attempted to help Alex escape Hong Kong by providing him with his boat. The police allowed Henry to be released on bail, but prohibited him from leaving Hong Kong and demanded he report to them regularly. The third and final person is a woman in her late 20s named Irene Hun Hao Yin. She's a friend of Alex and helped him with his boat rental. It seems like she'd successfully fled Hong Kong earlier, but she got caught by authorities in mainland China before being handed back over. Like with the previous suspect, they have granted her bail, but a travel ban imposed on her. I think it is one thing to have evil intentions for someone, but another thing entirely when you want to end the life of someone who has been kind and generous to you in the past. Reports stated that the murder happened because of financial and property disputes between Abby and the Kwang family. Knowing this, I don't quite know what to feel about this entire case apart from a sickening grief. Because of greed, they took away the life of a young and promising lady. The heart-sinking news of Abby's passing devastated her family, friends, and fans, leaving them unable to accept the cruel truth. Her current husband, Chris Tam, whose father is the founder of a restaurant chain, said that his late wife was a kind-hearted and nice person who always wanted to serve people. Abby's best friend, Mocha Fong, also mentioned that she's unable to ease the pain of losing her. In one of her Instagram posts, she stated, "I am extremely devastated and still cannot accept that this is reality. My heart is in such pain, I have no words, only 1,000 whys. I still cannot ease my pain. I pray that she rests in peace." It is indeed a painful time for Abby's family and friends. To accept that the loving mother and friend is no longer around is plain heartbreaking. Her 2 oldest children are inconsolable of their mother's death and would break down every time they think of her. However, the family has chosen to hide the truth from her 2 youngest children by telling them that their mom is out for work. I can't imagine how much pain they'd go through if they learned of her passing, but it's too cruel to break the news to them now. The locals from the village where Abby's body was found conducted a small religious ceremony to calm her spirits, hoping she can rest in peace. The surreal nature of this entire saga is plain horrifying to the point netizens have compared this case to the Korean thriller film Parasite. Maybe that makes it easier to stomach when you think this only exists in fiction. Certain scenes of the film reminded them of Abby's murder case. At this moment, the investigation is still ongoing. From what I know, Hong Kong abolished the death penalty back in 1993, so that's off the table. But seeing as this case was clearly premeditated, first-degree murder charges are likely. In Hong Kong, the mandatory sentence for murder is life in prison. Whether or not parole will be an option, well, that's up for the court to decide. I hope that these monsters will be punished as heavily as possible for their evil and unfathomable crimes. How do you think they will serve justice in this case? Remember to like and subscribe.